I'm Felicia,
And I'm Ian.
and we are the Paranormal Lovers.
Hello, paranormal dudes, dudettes, and dudays. Welcome back to another episode of the Paranormal Lovers.
Hi, guys.
Hey, guys.
Sorry. He just did his clap thing, and the dogs were like, the fuck did we do?
They're like, what the hell?
Now they want out.
We have the dogs in here. So.
Oh, that's so...
Sorry, I had to let the dogs out.
He did. He did. Had to let the dogs out because they were, they get weird sometimes.
I get antsy.
I
I scared them with my clap.
Our dogs have anxiety.
We got this trick where, like, we clap before our episode. So, like, we know when it starts.
Visual and audio break.
Yeah, it's great.
But
good
the
trick.
dogs were like...
If you have a YouTube channel and you're like trying to edit and having trouble starting it and ending it, like just clap.
Yeah, or make some kind of noise
Mm-hmm.
that you can know for sure. Right, that's where. I'm sorry. Oh my god. I'm so sorry, guys. It's only 9:00 in the morning.
Yeah, we're recording early today, so
I've been up for 4 hours, but yeah, I'm tired.
Top of the show stuff.
Yep. If you would like, you can follow us on our socials, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, as well as watching our videos on YouTube by searching for the Paranormal Lovers in the search bar. If you would like some merch, head on over to the paranormallovers.threadless.com to check out all of our collections. We currently have a sale going on over at the paranormallovers.threadless.com, and with $12.50 t-shirts.
Wow, $12?
$12.50 t-shirts.
Dang. I wish I'd have like worked some overtime.
I mean, we can get you something.
Right.
We can get you something next week. And up to 40% off everything else until September 3rd.
Nice.
We do have Patreon for now. We do still have Patreon.
Nice.
So I am going to stop doing Deadly Lovers.
Yeah.
Deadly History is a great show name, though. Or band name. What we're going to do is you will get early access to Rethinking Our History and the Paranormal Lovers. You will also get a sticker every month.
Nice.
And that is $5 a month on the Lonely Hearts tier. We would so much appreciate it if you guys could support us.
Yeah.
Either with merch or the Patreon.
Stickers are cool too. We'll do like we'll do a bought sticker.
Yeah.
Felicia designed some stickers.
We'll do those stickers, and then Ian will make you a little hand-drawn.
Yeah, I'll draw you some hand-drawn ones too.
Little hand-drawn doodle.
Because I like doing that.
Yeah. And lastly, if you have a personal true crime or paranormal story you would like to have read on an episode of Paranormal Personals, or you have a topic request, or you just want to yell at us for our super liberal opinions, email us at theparanormallovers@yahoo.com. What'd you love about this week?
Anarchy. No.
I mean, I enjoy the fuck out of it.
I enjoyed so both of us kind of listened to Indigenous Tales, Nightmares of the Americas.
If you guys haven't, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Go listen to them.
And they just got done, which it's kind of an older episode, but they did a whole series on Leonard Peltier.
Yeah.
And how he's been in prison unrightfully for like years now.
Yeah.
And so I was listening to I seen a YouTube video on, and it was from the Young Turks, or it was a political channel, and it had a thing on Rage Against the Machine, and it started out, telling about Rage and all their stuff that they've done, and then it led into a story about Leonard Peltier, and I was like, oh, I know this story, it's like, but what did these two have in common? And so then right at the end of the episode, it started talking about track 10 on Rage Against the Machine self-titled album, their first album. I'm like, oh my God, I know this song. This is my favorite song. Like 13-year-old me was like, freedom. The song's
Mhm.
called Freedom, and it's just one of those songs that's like so emotional and iconic of Rage Against the Machine. And
Mhm.
it was like they wrote it about Leonard Peltier, and I'm like, holy fucking shit! Like, what? Wait a minute! Like, why the fuck did I didn't know this? Like, so I just had one of those like mind blow aha moments when I was watching the video, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah,
I was like, that is by far, hands down, my favorite Rage Against the Machine song.
it's a good song, and now it's gonna be stuck in my head all day. Just freedom
So I had to
over and
like,
over and over again.
I had to comment on their video like, "Free Leonard Peltier!"
Hell
Like,
yeah, yeah, and it's complete bullshit what they've done to him.
for sure, for sure.
Like they know he didn't kill those two FBI agents. They're pissed off because they couldn't get the person that actually killed him, and they used him as a scapegoat.
We need to email the next president. If that happens, like, hey, free him,
I don't
pardon
know.
him.
I don't think she would.
I don't think she would either.
She's a
Just because
prosecutor.
it's just one of those right left things where none of them are gonna do it.
Yeah, none of them
Like,
care about him.
none of them give a shit.
Biden could pardon him right now.
Yeah, he could.
Like he could absolutely pardon him, excommunicate his whole damn sentence,
Yeah,
free him today.
Trump could have before that.
Trump could have done it. Obama could have done it.
Like,
Bush could have done it.
any
Clinton
of
could have
them.
done it. I don't. He's been in jail like what 50 fucking years. Go far. Eisenhower.
Yeah.
Like I don't know who the fuck. I don't
I
do
think
the presidents.
right.
But like any of them could have
Yeah.
fucking pardoned him
Yeah.
at this point, and they won't.
Yeah.
So fuck the government.
Fuck all of them.
Go get a shirt from Indigenous Tales that says "Trust the government" with some skulls
Hell
on
yeah.
it. I got it. It's a great shirt.
Yeah. But I love that. So, what did you love about this week, baby?
I gotta think for a minute. I really don't know. So the thing that's hard about this is I don't do much anymore.
Yeah.
Like my one day of the week, I go out and get groceries, and then I come home and take a nap, and then I'm at home.
Yeah.
For the rest of the week.
I know you love your like bird animals out there.
The doves. I guess I could say that. Yeah, like me and Patty went out the other day. Oh man, I wish you'd seen it. Me and her went out the other day. We were leaving for school, and this little squirrel was on the branch, and he was looking at us, and we were talking to him, and he just kept like looking at us. I like threw out some food, and he's just like looking at us. And then this morning, that's the squirrel that Patty was talking to this morning.
Yeah,
She
sitting
was
out
sitting
on the
on the
porch.
porch talking to that squirrel in the yard. So, but yeah, we had your mom who lives behind us has a pair of doves that have kind of hung around her house for a long time. And when I started feeding the animals, they started coming over here. They'll come over here and get food, and then they go back to her house in the afternoon to eat.
Sure.
But I looked out the other day and I was like, there's like 6 damn doves in the yard.
Wow.
There's doves, there's blue jays and ravens and cardinals and towies and
yeah. As soon as we put that bird feeder out, they were like
squirrels and the chipmunks, titmouses, like the birds, just birds galore. It's been amazing.
She feels like Snow White or
I do. I feel
Snow
like
Black.
excuse me, sir, Snow Brown.
Right.
Thank you very much. Although if you don't eat the brown snow.
Shoo.
I don't know why every time I say that, it makes me think of when you ever see Dreamcatcher?
Yeah.
Was it Dreamcatcher? Yeah, when he's outside like peeing in the snow.
Yeah.
And the ass blaster like attaches itself to its penis.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, Stephen King, if you listen.
Yeah. Hey, Steve, how's it going? I think I actually did tag him the other day. No, I almost tagged him when I did the post for the Wilmington Massacre. I was like, Stephen King couldn't come up with a scarier fucking story. Like, and I almost tagged him in it, and then I was like, and I like backed it up and just like put his name without tagging him.
Right.
But almost did. Shit. Did you do pod this week.
Oh crap!
We forgot this
I
week, didn't
forgot.
we? That's all right. It happens. We've done pretty good, so we'll catch up with it next week. Sorry, friends.
Sorry, guys.
All
Dropped the
right.
ball.
Yeah, it's all right. It happens. Shit happens.
It was a busy week for me.
It was. You worked 4 days this week,
Yeah.
48 hours.
Yeah.
Love those 48-hour paychecks, though.
Yeah.
All right. So this week we are back in the life of Aleister Crowley.
Awesome.
When we left you in part one, Crowley had just bestowed the name of Master Therion upon himself. Hey, D,
Radio.
if you ever listen to this, we actually had a boss named Therion Dawson.
Yeah, we
He's
did.
an amazing fucking manager. I
He
was
definitely
like,
was the
yeah.
master.
Therion. He was the Master Therion. That is fucking for sure.
Yeah.
Now, let me tell you
This dude
guys.
was so cool. He would like, we had like an intercom system at the factory that we worked, and he would like
put his phone on it, play music.
Yeah, he would play music for us, and like cool music too.
Good shit too.
Yeah.
And I mean, guys, this is the guy that like he had a brain cancer.
Yeah.
And after his diagnosis, like they wanted to repaint the floors, and he fucking came. He brought work clothes. He switched into his work clothes, went out there and repainted the damn floor.
That's awesome.
While he's undergoing treatment for a fucking brain tumor.
Right.
Like, he's the best boss I ever had. Period.
Yeah.
Hands down. Sorry, Mom. My mom was my boss once, and I still think D was the best boss I ever had. So,
yeah.
The Master Therion. All right, after this trip, he spent time in New Orleans before visiting family in Florida. He then made his way back to New York, where he moved in with friend, fellow order member, and artist Leon Ingers Kennedy. I should have seen if he was a Kennedy. The magazine Crowley had been writing for the Fatherland collapsed, and Crowley began working for his friend's art journal, The International, which he used to promote thalassemia. Whether due to his writings or other reasons, that publication soon collapsed as well. Seems like anytime Crowley gets involved with something, it collapses. Real suspicious how that happens.
I just seen a glitch on my computer.
Real suspicious how that happens. Isn't it, Fred, my NSA member? No, for real. You guys go listen to Sinisterhood. They just did an episode on the NSA and their Utah information warehouse that stores all of our information of every single person in the United States on servers.
Oh, wow.
It's a 1 million square foot building.
Jeez.
That is full of servers that stores all of our personal information.
That's crazy.
So, yeah.
I'm going to have to go listen to that.
Yeah, for sure. Go listen to it. It's their last. It was fucking, I was like, what? They actually have a YouTube, so you can watch them on YouTube.
Nice.
After this, Crowley moved in with Roddy Minor, who was his girlfriend and his Scarlet Woman. In Thelema, the Scarlet Woman is also known as Babylon, was the goddess of the order, which is like, this is one of those things that people are like, Crowley's a Satanist, because Babylon is something to do with Satan in the Bible. I read it 3 times. I can't fucking remember a damn thing, but she was often involved in many of Crowley's rituals, which I can only imagine centered on sex, magic. That relationship did not last long either. In 1918, Crowley went into the wilderness of Eophas Island in the Hudson River, where he painted symbols on cliff and allegedly experienced past life memories of several notable figures throughout history. Coming back to the city, Crowley moved to Greenwich Village. Is that Greenwich or Greenwich?
Greenwich?
I think it's Greenwich, but it's spelled Greenwich.
Right.
And began dating Leah Hirsig, who would become his next Scarlet Woman. He also took up painting and even had an exhibition of his work, which, let me tell you something right now. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm like doing a lot of side quests this episode. Did you see Russ Miller's post where his paintings got confiscated by customs in Italy? Yeah, he had like 30 paintings for a gallery exhibition in Italy, and customs confiscated all of his paintings.
What?
Blew my fucking mind. I was like, are you kidding me?
That's crazy.
Like,
Sorry, Russ. Dang.
What? I was like, no, that's fucked up.
That is fucked up.
Also, because like I was like, one, how did I not know that this man was having an exhibit in Italy?
You did.
I didn't know that.
I told you that.
I didn't remember. I don't remember.
I actually commented on it and sent him in like a what is it, like, I guess like a quote or something about his work.
Yeah, I was just like, that's fucking mind blowing. Like that's some like top tier artist shit right there.
For sure, he's a good artist.
Yes, depending on if it's your type of art. He's a weird artist.
It's abstract.
It's very abstract.
But I like it. It's cool.
It's one of those things where I can stare at it for about 10 minutes and then my brain starts going zzz, zzz, zzz.
It's definitely deep. Like his art is
his art's like his life.
He does like David Lynch type stuff with mostly with his art, but he did music too when he was in his earlier life. Still does.
You've been following Russ for a hot minute.
Oh yeah.
All right. He also took a painting and even had an exhibition. With the aid of a few Freemasons, Crowley was able to revive the equinox. In mid-1919, Crowley went climbing in Montauk before going back to London in December, which I did not know that there were mountains to climb in upstate New York.
There's a card, an Aleister Crowley card, like magic card. I don't know if it's magic though, because it doesn't.
It's probably just like a special card.
It's like it has like an attack and a link.
Yeah, sometimes they'll like. There's like artists out there that they'll make magic cards, but it'll just be like different people.
Yeah.
But it'll be stylized like a magic card.
Yeah.
Or a Pokemon card. I think they're great, but
it's kind of cool.
Now, Crowley is really, really broke and doesn't have much going for him back in London. To make matters worse, he came under attack from John Bull, a tabloid. It marked him as a traitor due to his work with the Germans. They could not have known he was working, possibly working for British intelligence. Possibly. Allegedly. And he never sued them for their slander. Crowley began having bouts of asthma, and his doctor prescribed him heroin.
Wow.
Which he soon became addicted to.
Yeah, I could see that.
Crowley and Leah moved to Paris, Fontainebleau, to be exact, with her.
Go ahead.
With her infant daughter. Before long, Nanette Shumway also began living in the residence. What?
One of the Ghost albums is Aleister Crowley.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's stylized after him.
Yeah, they're not the only ones. Crowley began dreaming of opening his own community of Thelemites. After consulting some mystical writing, he chose Cephalu. I don't know why I said it like that. Cephalu. He chose Cephalu in Sicily as the perfect place and rented out the Villa Santa Barbara, where he would run the Abbey of Thelema. Crowley, his two lady friends, and their 3 children all moved into the commune, where Crowley described it as, quote, my idea of heaven, end quote. They all wore robes and practiced rituals at a few set times of the day. The rest of the time was for them to do with what they pleased. Crowley filled his days with painting and writing. Now, this is where I look at him and go, what the fuck, Crowley? Because he allowed the children to witness their acts of sex magic.
Right.
And I don't know. And like, I know, like, he's addicted to heroin and that shit fries your brain. So I'm kind of hoping that it was just like, oh, they just kind of like popped in and were like, oh, what are y'all doing? And he wasn't like making them sit down and like forcing them to watch it, you know?
Right.
And as I say, the drugs, because Crowley would make regular trips to Palermo to visit with male sex workers and buy drugs. He was deep in a heroin and cocaine addiction, so much so his nasal cavity was beginning to erode.
Oh,
it's eroding.
The deviated septum.
with the deviated the fucking hole in your septum. I mean, I did it on purpose, but ugh.
Right.
This drug addiction added to the poor living conditions of their home. No one clean, and animals were allowed to wander in and out of the property, using it as their personal toilet.
Oh.
And then Leah's daughter, Poopy, died in 1920, in October of 1920. Soon after, Nanette gave birth to a daughter, Astarte. People began flocking to the Abbey in 1920, including famous people such as Jane Wolfe and Cedric Frederick Russell. Jane became Crowley's secretary, while Russell only stayed for a year. His main complaint was the same sex magic he was forced to participate in.
Right.
In February of 1922, Crowley went back to Paris in an unsuccessful attempt to recover from his addiction. He then went to London, where he began to work writing where he went to work writing to earn money. I don't know what's up with my eyes today. The thing to end this heaven on earth was the arrival of Raoul Loveday and his wife Betty May. Loveday loved the commune and Crowley, while May was less than enthused. She truly hated it there, and when her husband died after drinking from a polluted stream, she headed back to London and told her fucking story.
Right.
Probably threw in some fucking lies too, but maybe.
Maybe.
She claimed that her husband had been forced to drink blood of a sacrificed cat and that they were forced to cut themselves if they said the word I.
Huh.
Due to the fact that Crowley was too broke to fight back against the media, the news spread throughout Europe and North America. When Mussolini learned of Crowley and his commune, Crowley was given a notice to deport and was forced to leave Italy. That's pretty sad when Mussolini's like, get the fuck out of my country.
Yeah.
Fuck is wrong with you? Like, sir? After his departure, the abbey shut down. Crowley then headed to Tunisia, where he once again attempted to get help for his heroin addiction. While unsuccessful in that regard, he began work on an autobiography titled The Confessions of Aleister Crowley. He traveled around some more from Nefta to Nice, France, where he had a series of nasal surgeries. Crowley took on work with another wealthy student as he found his bank account empty. He also began yet another relationship, this time with a woman named Dorothy Olson. Crowley and Olson traveled around until she became pregnant, and he had Leah come take care of her. I don't know. This man must have these women digmatized or something. Because the fuck?
Right.
Unfortunately, Dorothy would have a miscarriage, and after this, Leah began to distance herself from Crowley. Around this time, the head of OTO, Roos, passed away, and Crowley attempted to grab power of the order, claiming Roos had named him head of the order. He was challenged by German OTO leader Heinrich Trenker. Both men had support of important figures within the order, leading to a split group. Crowley moved back to Paris in 1922 and ended up ending his relationship with Dorothy around the same time. During all of this, Crowley was becoming increasingly ill, mainly due to his continuous drug use. Over the next 2 years, Crowley kept befriending people and writing his own works, including publishing one of his most well-known works, Magic in Theory and Practice. In December of 1928, Crowley would be deported from France. Simply put, they didn't like his reputation, and some believed he was a German spy. He headed back to Britain and got married to Maria Teresa Sanchez, who was a Nicaraguan native, so that she could join him. He spent the rest of that year and into the next having several works published by Mandrake Press. This company would go out of business in November of 1930 before Crowley could get all of his works published. Every fucking time.
It was the butt stuff.
It had to have been the butt stuff. They were like, how are you publishing this stuff about butt stuff in the 1920s and 30s, sir? This is not demure. Ugh. Sorry. In April of 1930, Crowley moved to Berlin, where he took yet another lover for his magic, which was not a good one. In September, he traveled to meet poet Fernando Pessoa, where he also decided to fake his death.
Hmm.
With Pessoa's help, he did just that and then returned to Berlin, where he laid low for 3 weeks until his art went on exhibition.
Oh, snap. His sell his art. I get it.
Yeah, yeah. In August of 1931, Crowley began a relationship with Bertha Bush. This relationship may have been one of the worst, as they were both physically abusive towards each other. He was still spending time sleeping with other people, men and women, sex workers and not.
Jeez.
After the end of that relationship, Crowley went back to London, where he met Pearl Brooksmith and made her his new Scarlet Woman.
I wonder what his count was.
Honestly, it sounds like his count's well above mine, so I don't feel like such a fucking hoe. Okay? I thought mine was bad, but like, damn, sir. In 1932, Crowley was invited as the guest of honor at Foyle's Literary Luncheon. He was also invited to speak at the National Laboratory of Psychical Research by none other than famed psychic researcher Harry Price. Once again, being broke as a joke, Crowley decided to sue anyone he could think of he had felt that had libeled him.
Hmm.
He won a few, but not enough, and after one very public battle, Crowley ended up filing bankruptcy in 1935. Crowley then befriended Deidre Patricia Doherty. Sorry, that last name is so hard for me to say. Who offered to have a child with him. She gave birth to Randall Gare, whom Crowley nicknamed Aleister Ataturk. Ataturk? I don't know. In May of 1937. He kept up his work of writing and having his works published, with The Equinox of the Gods being published in 1936. Around this time, Hitler was gaining more power, and Crowley was intrigued and believed Hitler could be converted to the Lima. However, Hitler abolished the OTO in Germany, imprisoning Greimer. After this, Crowley claimed Hitler was a black magician,
Hmm.
which, like, he was.
Yeah.
When World War II broke out, Crowley offered his services to the Naval Intelligence Division, but they declined. Oh, sorry. When I read that, I had to like read it 3 or 4 times when I was doing the research, and I was like, he was legit like, just like went up to the fucking U.S. government and was like, "So I'm a magician. I can help you out with this war. It's like whole ass war going on in the world right now," and they're like, "No, we're good. Thanks, but we're good." Like, what the fuck? In
This guy's
1914,
crazy.
his asthma got worse, and since he did not have access to his German based medication, he turned back to heroin to deal with his symptoms.
Mm.
When the Blitz hit London, Crowley headed to Torquay. It's not Turkey. That's like a torque wrench, but like
Right.
with an AY at the end. I don't know. Where he would spend some time in a hospital for his asthma. He returned to London after a while, where he named his successor as Germer, who had escaped from the Nazis. After his death, he appointed American Thelemite Gray McCurdy to take over. Crowley also worked with OTO member Frida Harris to create a tarot card set.
Hmm.
In April of 1944, Crowley moved to Buckinghamshire. Such a long word to write out, but you can actually say it very quickly.
Buckinghamshire.
Buckinghamshire. For a bit before moving into the Netherwood boarding house in Sussex. He had many visitors over this time, including friends and family. Aleister Crowley passed away on December 1st, 1947, of chronic bronchitis.
Hmm.
His funeral was touted as a quote unquote black mass in the media, and his ashes were sent to Carl Germer, who buried them in his garden in Hampton, New Jersey.
Well,
I kind of want to go see it.
yeah.
Now, Crowley wrote that he felt his purpose in life was to, quote, bring Oriental wisdom to Europe and restore paganism in a pure form, end quote. The thing is, between his extensive traveling around the world and his drug addiction, Not all of what came out of Crowley's mind made any sense, nor was very cohesive. He took practices from everything from Hindu yoga and Buddhism to alchemy and astrology. Of course, as with most people who created a new religion or spiritual movement, Crowley saw himself as the prophet who would usher humanity into a new aeon of spirituality. Again, Crowley was the one who coined the spelling of the word magic with a K. He believed that magic was a blend of science and religion and sex. Let's not forget that Crowley was a hoe. He was a hoe. He
For
was a
sure.
certified hoe. And I'm not shaming him. It's just a fact. He was a damn hoe.
Yeah.
He believed that the three base forms of sexuality, hetero, homo, and auto, could each be used in magic for different purposes.
Hmm.
So that's why, like, I don't think he was, like, necessarily raping people, but I think he was like, well, if you want to do magic for this, then you have to put your dick in this dude's butt.
Right.
Or let me put my dick in your butt.
I will guide you.
Sure. All right. What's even more is his beliefs that consuming sexual fluids was, in a way, their kind of communion. This was done with the creation of light cakes, a pastry product made with menstrual blood and or semen and vaginal discharge.
Oh,
Yummy.
the salty milk and pennies.
Yep. Many over the years have labeled Crowley as a Satanist. Crowley stated straight up he was not a Satanist, nor had he ever been in Satanist, because in reality, he didn't even believe in the Christian mythology of Satan. That
Right.
did not stop him from leaning into the label from time to time, though. Like, if people are going to
Made
say I'm
people
doing
think
it, I
about it.
might as well act like it, right?
Right.
Listen, I haven't always been great. I've cheated on a few exes, but it was literally like, if you gonna sit here and keep accusing me of cheating, then I'm gonna go fucking cheat. Like, get out my goddamn face.
Right.
Go on somewhere, goddamn. He did, however, have a deep hatred of Christianity and anything related to it. Most historians agree this came from his ultra religious upbringing with the Plymouth Brethren. He did use the Book of Revelations in his work, though, which, like, y'all read that book? Because it's wild as fuck up in there.
Yeah.
Some people have also accused of him practicing the human sacrifice of young children. It was literally something like, I don't know. Something about like the best victim is one that is like young and something of which I've killed many.
Mm-hmm.
In reality, the passage people point to for this claim is about him ejaculating.
Right.
He's killed many, many
Those
children
kinds of
that
kids.
way. Yeah. Yep. Crowley made quite the name for himself while he was alive, and it wasn't always a great name. One historian was quoted as saying that in his youth, Crowley was, quote, a self indulgent and flamboyant young man who set about deliberately flouting and provocation of social and religious norms while being shielded from an outraged public opinion by his inherited wealth, end quote. Which is true because you can get away with any fucking thing if you got money.
It's true.
Any fucking thing. You got people sitting in jail for 15 years for weed.
Yeah.
For weed. And yet the fucking Brock Turners of the world can rape people and get out.
Yeah.
No. Now, Crowley did have an interest in the Nazis and communism, but he was really not left or right in his own political beliefs. Historians have supposited that his interest in communism came from his hatred of Christianity. He was seeking a way to flip the religious majority of the world from Christianity to thalemia. He also believed that democracy was quote an imbecile and nauseating cult of weakness, end quote. So I guess this day and age he would be considered far right because it is his own book of that. It is his own book that proclaimed, quote, there is a master and there is a slave, the noble and the serf, and the lone wolf and the herd, end quote.
Mm.
Now, with that being said, we can't say if Crowley was racist or not. We know he was bisexual, although he had more experience with women than men throughout his life. His preference, however, was for quote unquote exotic women. Now, this just could be his preference, which is totally fine, or it could be fetishism, which is not. And yes, you can fetishize different races.
Right.
I know because I've been fetishized for being black. And now that I'm older and look back on that situation, I'm like, wow, that was fucking gross.
Right.
Whether he realized it or not, some of his beliefs would be seen as highly problematic today. While he was a champion and advocate for the queer community, he was also from a high class, and with that, especially during this time in Britain, was a class known for their racist views on Jewish people.
Mm.
Crowley was known to have insulted at least one friend by using Jewish slurs, but at the same time, he praised the Chinese for their quote unquote spiritual superiority and Muslims for their quote unquote manliness and self respect. So yeah, he's got like, I don't know. It's gross. Just don't fucking fetishize racists, y'all. It's gross.
He was an asshole.
He's an asshole. Many have made connections between Crowley and the British Secret Service. Many of his trips around the world coincide with certain things going on. For example, going to China to check in on the opium trade, and his joining the Golden Dawn is believed by some to have been a plant by Britain due to the leader Mathers being a Carlist.
Hmm.
In the magic world, Crowley has left his mark as, quote, the best equipped magician to emerge since the 17th century, one of the most well known in modern occultism, the most notorious occultist magician of the 20th century, a modern master, and a pioneer of conscious research, end quote.
Hmm.
Thelema is not the only religion or practice Crowley had a hand in the formation of. Hang on. Gardnerian Wicca takes from Crowley's teaching. Rosalind Norton was heavily influenced by his works, and I believe she's like an Australian witch.
Yeah.
And Ron Hubbard and Jack Parsons spent time in Thelema.
L. Ron Hubbard.
L. Ron Hubbard,
All
the founder of Scientology. Yeah. And Jack Parsons was a motherfucking rocket scientist who is also in the spiritualist community. So that's fun. And while he was not a Satanist, he did have quite an influence on modern day Satanism. Both Anton LaVey and Michael Aquino were heavily influenced by his work.
Hmm.
Crowley has been the influence for several characters in British literature. This includes the poet Shelley Arabin in The Dancing Floor and priest Damien Mokata in The Devil Rides Out. The Beatles added Crowley on the cover of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, and his quote, "Do What Thou Will," was inscribed on the Led Zeppelin III album.
Hmm.
Co-founder Jimmy Page bought Boleskine in 1971, and a part of their film The Song Remains the Same was filmed there.
Oh, wow.
He then sold it in 1992.
Didn't know that part.
No. David Bowie and Ozzy both paid homage to Aleister Crowley.
Yeah.
Bowie with lyrics and a couple of songs, and Ozzy with a whole last song, Mr. Crowley.
Yeah.
And that, folks, is the life of Aleister Crowley.
Mr. Crowley. Down, down, down.
He was a very flawed man with some extremely flawed views, but he really moved paganism and occult out of the shadows and made it more accessible for everyone.
Sure.
So I do hope his soul is at rest and he got peace. Well, because he didn't have none here on earth, which is mostly his own damn fault. But
yeah,
woohoo! So
that's such a wild story.
That's Aleister Crowley, the grandfather of modern paganism.
Wow.
Yeah, that motherfucker lived a life.
Yeah.
Like I tell you, when I started the episodes for this one, I'm like, how much more traveling is this man gonna do? Damn.
He was everywhere.
Seriously. And then you think about it, like, remember I was like, how does this motherfucker afford to be going all over the place? Well, I guess if he's British Secret Service.
Yeah, that would make sense.
He just fucking fly him where he needs to go.
Yep.
Or on a boat. Like,
yep.
Yeah, I was I'm actually kind of glad that one's over with. That one was so long. Like, why you got to do so much? Like, I know people that like love to travel, and I would love to travel and do stuff, but he just made me tired. He's like, I'm over here doing this, I'm over there doing that. I'm gonna go do some peyote, let me get some heroin for this asthma. Like
The whole time he's like writing books and painting.
he's like just walking around. Hey, you want to fuck? Let's go fuck. Okay. You want
Yeah,
to fuck? Let's go fuck.
having sex with everything.
Everything. Fucking hey, if it's got at least one hole, he's gonna put it in it. Except for I don't think he messed with like animals and stuff. He just was just fucking men and women everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, that's his right. As long as he's like, you know, doing it in a consenting and safe way, go for it, bro.
I think it was more of like a spiritual thing than it was like lust.
It was his for him, sex and religion were like the
Same thing. Yeah.
Like sex, he said that sex was a sacrament. So
yeah,
but he just like, okay, but you sacrament in every fucking body. You blessing the whole fucking world, bro. Calm the fuck down.
Worse than evangelists.
Seriously. And it's like, you know, as a pagan myself, like I do believe in sex magic. I practice sex magic, but like it's something that should be when you find a partner, like that one person that you get to do sex magic with and you get tied together in that way, the magic's
Right.
like off the fucking charts.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean as much when you're just fucking everybody.
You get a fuck. And you get a fuck. And you get a fuck.
And I can't believe we just did Henrietta Lacks and Oprah played her daughter in that movie.
Maybe that's why I was thinking about it.
For some reason, I feel like Henrietta's cackling right now. She's just like sitting over here in this chair going, ah! It's funny right there. All right, guys. If you enjoyed this episode, drop us a note in the link on the show notes. We actually got a message on Spotify the other day, and it damn near made me cry. I don't know who in Irvine, California sent me that message, but like, thank you. Thank you so much. It was very, very nice. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Comments, like we get excited about comments.
We really
they mean
do.
so much to us.
Yeah. I have like major imposter syndrome. So when people are all like, you guys are doing great. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm like, one half of me is like, I don't believe you. While the other half of me is like, oh, thank you so much.
Right.
I appreciate it. All right. Like, subscribe, rate, review, share, etc., etc., etc. Go over to the shop, check out the sale. Come join us on Patreon if you want to get a free sticker once a month. And all that good jazz.
Yeah.
And we will see you guys next week.
Love you guys.
Oh, wait, this is the Paranormal Lovers, not the other one. Never mind. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.